What's going on, guys? Zuko back with another Dragonflight video. Hope you're all doing really well. I wanted to do a quick little guide for Waycrest Manor. If any of you guys are in the dungeon and you're kind of struggling with it a bit potentially, or you just want to know how the general dungeon works, I've been doing a lot of keys on the Mistweaver. We've done 21 plus 15 runs this week. And we have a lot of dungeons done. So I'm gonna give you a little bit of a guide here. We did an 18 Waycrest Manor. I'm gonna show you that right now. Let me just go to MDT really quickly. If you guys have never seen MDT, this is gonna look really intimidating, but this is really a cool tool. It shows you the entire dungeon. I was trying to figure out a new route, but I'm not gonna do that right now. We're gonna reset this. Reset. Okay. You first enter the dungeon right here. Okay. Follow me here. You enter right here. So, generally speaking, the first pack you're going to kill is going to be these guys. Okay, that's the first pack. Then you move to the left, and you're going to kill this Heartsbane Runeweaver with these guys. That's your second pack. Then you move into this boss room. You're going to take care of both of these in probably 2 pulls, but we'll just call it 1 pack. Then you kill the first boss. And I'll talk about all the mechanics in a second when we get there. I'm just kind of talking about the route. Then you work your way back out. Your next pull would be something like these guys with maybe the Heartsbane. Depending if the patrol is coming down the stairs, you might grab them as well. Then you're going to go outside, grab the dogs, plus another coven. Then you're going to kind of kill these guys. We'll call this a different pull here. Then you pull the boss, right? So you've gone left, and then you come out, and you go outside. Second boss is already down. Then you're into this third boss area with the Gluttonous boy here. You're going to pull a bunch of stuff here. Generally speaking, as I'll show you in the video, you want to pull a lot of these mobs all the way outside into this zone because it's easier to fight out there, particularly this week because it's Sanguine week. It's very frustrating to fight this week. Let's call this a pull, right? And then we'll call this another pull. And then you want to pull these guys as well. Then you might want a little bit more percentage. I'm not entirely sure. I got to figure out the percent here in a second. Then let's say you pull the boss, okay? So you're going to leave all the rest of this trash. You're leaving all this stuff. Okay, then you're done. You kill this boss. Then you go downstairs. This is your next pull. This works your way down the stairs. And then if you follow my mouse, we're going to pop out right down here. Okay, this is now the basement. Okay, here's your next pull. This is the Coven Thorn Shaper. You're going to kill them now. Before you go downstairs, you need about 86%. So we're actually missing a huge amount of percent. So what you can do before you go down the stairs, let's cancel this one, okay? And then let's go to pull 18. We're going to cancel pull 18. Where was that? Oh, no, that was pull 18. Okay, so instead of going and killing this stuff and running downstairs first, you're going to kill some more pigs. This is very easy percentage. Okay, so we do this. Then we'll do another pull. Let's say we kill these guys. We'll get about, I think 70% is what we need. I think that's about what we need, 70%. Okay, now we're downstairs. You've killed all this stuff. We're going to go downstairs. You kill this first pack here. We're at 72%. Then you kill the matron. She's worth a lot. Okay, so now we're at 77. You can grab that. That's only 81. I have traditionally cleared this entire basement, and you end up with about 87. So we're slightly over. So this is roughly what you have to do percentage-wise, okay? Now, if you don't want to clear this entire basement pack here, you're going to have to find your percent back up here somewhere. So you could kill maybe the rest of these pigs with this guy. That might get to the percentage you're looking at, okay? But now we're going to the basement, okay? We're in the second basement down here, okay? We're going to add another pull. That's going to be... This is typically one entire pull. This is a very dangerous pull. You have to be very careful about this. So, but you typically pull that whole thing. Then you're going to kill the boss, Lord and Lady Waycrest. Then you're going to pull these Gloom Horrors. And again, I'm only at 98%. So you're going to absolutely have to pick up some pigs here. Or, realistically speaking, you're probably, if we look at pull 6. Whoops, I just messed that up there. Let's add another pull. We'll call this here, and then we're going to drag this all the way up to where 6 is. Typically speaking, you're going to pull this patrol anyway, so we would call that, and then now we are at 101.6%. It's not perfect, but that's the general route. Again, start from here in the middle, you go left, you kill everything in this room, kill this boss. You kill these guys on the stairs, you go into the middle, you kill these guys, you kill this boss, the Soulbound Goliath. Then you pull almost everything in this area with the Gluttonous guy. Then you're downstairs, you can pull everything downstairs basically, and then you go downstairs again, you're going to kill all this stuff, and you're done the dungeon. Now, it's going to depend on the week. The routing might change. This week with the matron, it's pretty annoying because she's a nasty mob because it's fortified week, but you know, that just might be the case. You'd have to wait and see. Here's the dungeon. We're going to run through it really quick now. That was just a cool little tool, though, that you can use to help you understand what's going on with your pulls and to help understand like what you might want to do. So again, let's follow the exact pull that I just showed you on Mythic Dungeon Tools. Here's the opening area. You're going to kill these guys. They have a Scar Soul thing. They're not really that dangerous. You just want to blow them up. Get as much damage going as you can. I'm DPSing this time. I've DPSed this and tanked it and healed it a bunch of times. So I've done a lot of different done this a bunch of different ways, and you can see we have lots of damage. Bellatrix is pumping, Rich is pumping. We're doing lots of damage there. So we kill these guys, and again, Sanguine makes this dungeon very, very complicated this week. This is not going to be anywhere near as complicated next week. This is one of the worst Sanguine dungeons maybe in the entire game. So it's very frustrating that way. Here's the second pull. We went to the left, just like our MDT was showing. You're going to pull this. The Matron will show up. These Matron mobs are really annoying. These big witch ladies, the Heartsbane Rune Weaver is what I'm trying to say there. They have a really dangerous ability called Etch. It's going out on Rich right now. It's not interruptible. You can't stun them. You can't kick that ability. You just have to heal through it. So things like a Mistweaver Bubble are really good. Potentially depending on how high the key is, you might want to pain suppress that guy or something. Give him some sort of external, or he needs to use a defensive. That's really what's important there. Now, as you kill these, of course, they're going to drop Sanguine, and these guys can't be Ring of Peace. They can't be moved, and sometimes they'll just stand there and cast. This is an incredibly frustrating hallway. I was trying to work on a route to try and avoid these guys because they are just the most frustrating mobs to try and deal with on Sanguine Week. So we somehow pulled extra. I'm not sure if that was me or if it was maybe Bella. The Paladins have been, it's been really buggy for Paladins. They've been pulling extra stuff with Judgment, just like pulling through the walls. Very frustrating and stupid. And I think Unholy DKs have had some trouble too with some of their minions. So anyway, you get through this hallway and you're going to want to kill all these guys. It might take a little bit of extra work. Don't be afraid to sometimes pull them back into the previous room that you were just in to try and kill them. Then we go into the boss room. There's a whole bunch of trash. We're pulling both trash mobs together. This is the best way to do this, but it is a little bit dangerous. There's a poison you need to kick. Infected Thorn coming out right now. I can clear it because I'm a monk, and Bella can clear it because he's a paladin. So just make sure that you do that if you need to. I end up clearing it on myself right here, I think. And there it goes. I clear it way too late. But anyway, and then you want to obviously work the Sanguine backwards. A lot of Sanguine weeks is about pulling the mobs, and then as you start killing them, you're going to work your way backwards, okay? Here comes the first boss fight. This is the Sisters. This boss fight is pretty simple. One of the sisters will be targetable at any given time, and the other two will take 99% less damage. So this is a single target fight. It really is a single target fight, but it allows for like funnel classes to really pump, because you can get your resource generators going. Like if you can flame shock multiple enemies and those flame shocks are giving you procs, like an Ellie Shaman, for example, would be amazing on this fight, or an Enhancement Shaman. Both of them can funnel really, really well off these other bosses, even though you can't damage them. But they will pass the eyeball. So you can see one of them will say, you've had your turn. They're going to pass the eyeball. Now we have to kill Sister Malady, and we don't want to even touch the other two. And they will keep juggling this across. Now, each one of them has a special ability. The first lady will mind control one of your targets. You need to DPS your friend until it breaks the mind control, okay? That's really important, okay? So you do that. And then the second one, once she gets the eyeball, she will do a bunch of AoE circles on everybody called Unstable Runic Mark. You actually have to move around and to release this. You can see there's stacks of the Runic Mark, and as it does a lot of damage over time, you need to be moving. I'm not moving enough right now, actually. But that's how you break that. Especially for ranged casters, they need to understand they have to move. See, I'm jumping around now, and I'm moving, and it's making me take way, way less damage than some of the other people who are standing still. This third lady, she's going to cast Jagged Nettles. That's her special ability. That's just a single target nasty dot that goes on somebody. It does a lot of damage. Okay, it goes on a Stereo right now. You can see he puts Barrier down because he's probably going to die if he didn't do that. So that's very dangerous. You got to watch out for Nettles. Nothing you can do about it except the healer just has to deal with it, okay? So mind control, AoE circles, and a really nasty single target dot, and then you just jump from one to the other until all three of them are dead. Then, as I showed on the MDT thing, you're going to move through this hallway, okay? So let me just really quickly, just for clarity, we've done this first pack. Here's the second pack. We killed this boss room. Now we're moving up this hallway right now, okay? Moving up this hallway here. Oh, that's not right. It switched the there we go. What's going on here? Boom. Boom. There we go. Oh, I'm moving the wrong window. I moved my OBS window. We got this. We got this. Here we go. Okay, we're moving up this hallway now. Oh, my God. The production. We're killing these packs. This, again, has one of those Heartsbane chicks that does etch. And she puts candles on the ground, which will make her take way, way less damage. Very, very dangerous packs on Sanguine. This is so annoying because you don't have a lot of room to work with. So, again, it's about working around in a circle, trying to figure out the Sanguine. You could even pull backwards through the hallway if you want to. There's a couple different ways of dealing with it, but it's very, very frustrating, and just understand that's how it works. Now, Joe has us go down and kill these other mobs. These are the other mobs that are in the exact same hallway. I keep hitting spacebar. I'm really sorry about that. There we go. Now this is going to work. I hate the way Twitch works, man. It's so, like, counterintuitive. Anyway, these guys are basically free %. They don't really do anything harmful, so this is a great pack to pull. Anytime you can pull packs that are, like, relatively harmless, it's the way to go. Now we're going out towards the dogs, the middle courtyard area. There's a whole bunch of hounds. They're very easy to kill, and you want to pull them into another pack, into this first Thorn Shaper. And again, you want to kick as many infected thorns as you can. But if you have dispels for it, it's also really, really good. So both Bella and I have dispels. Those are really good classes to bring in here. It's a poison, so you could bring a shaman and have poison cleanse totem. That would deal with it as well. Very, very powerful. You kill those witches. Then you could pull these two Thorn Shapers into the mini boss if you want to, or you can just fight them on their own. I think on a Fortify week, it's okay to just fight them on their own. Then this is a mini boss. This is Matron Brindle. She's actually not that difficult. You just can't get hit by any of her abilities. If you get hit by that ground effect, you will literally die on Fortify week. So she just does Thorn Barrage mostly on the tank. It does a lot of damage, but it's really not that bad. And then, of course, she does this AoE ground effect ability, which is very dangerous. Again, right there. If I get hit by that, I'm dead. I think Asterio got tagged, unfortunately, and he ended up running back. Here's the next boss fight, okay? This is the Soulbound Goliath. This is basically a tank fight where your tank is just waiting to see how long they can take damage, and then Soul Thorns goes on random players. You want to stack up for this fight and make sure that everybody, even your range people, bring them into melee so that they can get the Soul Thorns right next to the boss so that you can cleave the Soul Thorn damage and the boss damage at the same time. You don't want to be out in Narnia on this fight. You want to be really, really close. Now, typically, what you'll have to do as the tank is go step into this fire to relieve the stacking debuff that you're getting from the tank. The tank does increasingly more stacking damage over time with Crush onto the tank. And realistically speaking, if this wasn't like a Giga Tank like Joe, you're probably going to have to eventually go and step into the fire because it's very, very dangerous. On Tyrannical weeks especially, you will absolutely have to step into the fire, including Joe. But you can see Soulbound Goliath's damage increases with each stack of Soul Harvest. So he's buffing himself. Right now he has 30 stacks. You can see it in the bottom bar here. He has 30 stacks, 29. That just goes up and up. Eventually, the tank needs to step into the fire. It relieves all of his stacks, but it also damages the group, like a lot. It does a lot of damage to the group. So your healer has to be ready to deal with that. Now, Joe basically cheeses this whole fight and just gets all the stacks. He has 49 stacks now because he's ridiculous, but that's how that fight goes, okay? Joe did 192 HPS on that fight, basically. So now, these next bunch of pulls, I would recommend that you grab them from inside and pull them into the courtyard over and over and over again. It's kind of a weird, tedious thing that you do now. Joe doesn't do it here, and that's okay, but because of Sanguine Week, I think it's very important that you pull all this stuff outside of the dungeon and into that courtyard because it's very annoying. Otherwise, these mobs are very easy to kill. The only thing to kick is called Infest. It's a little, like, pink worm icon that they do. If they get their Infest cast off, it's very, very dangerous, and it will probably wipe you over and over again because it ends up spawning more and more maggots, which you don't want to do, of course. I'm waiting for one of them to do it. I think there it is. There's the Infest cast, the Devouring Maggot right there. He's casting Infest right now in the middle of the screen. That has to be kicked. It has to be dealt with, or else you'll get trouble, okay? You'll just continuously spawn mag. Otherwise, these mobs are so easy. They're really, really easy. But because of Sanguine, it's such an annoying hallway to do. But you can pull as much of this hallway as you want to. Let me just show you an MDT really quickly. And there we go. So again, we've done the whole courtyard now. That's all done. Now we're pulling this whole section, okay, with the Gluttonous. And these are all the worms in here. You want to pull as many of these as you are comfortable with pulling. okay? Because they will, again, they will drop the infest. You want to make sure you deal with that, okay? So we deal with all those. Then we start pulling the mobs inside of the room, okay? Inside of the Gluttonous boss room. And Joe pulls these ones here. You can kind of do this however you want. If you clear this entire hallway like Joe just did, now you have more room to work with, and you don't have to pull them all the way outside. So I actually kind of like what Joe did here. I think this is a good little strat. Now, these guys have a really nasty bleed, and they do Dinner Bell, which is a big circle you have to get out of. That's all that's going on there. It's not too dangerous, but once these start dying, they're going to drop Sanguine. So there's one dead there. I did Touch of Death, and there's another Touch of Death, so a lot of them have died. We're pumping a lot of damage, but now Sanguine's down. Very annoying to deal with Sanguine, and Dinner Bell's kind of annoying, but anyway, you pull all these guys and you kill them. If you have this hallway, you can use the extra space. We have one more pull to do, I think, before we do the boss fight. Here's this last pull. I think Bella was just doing way too much damage, and he got crunched, got auto-attacked a few times. And there we go. Done with that. Also, Incorp this week, dealing with Incorp can be frustrating, but as a monk, you have Paralyze. It's amazing. An instant Paralyze on Incorps can really save the day. Most classes in the game can deal with Incorp. I'm trying to get my Phalanx Stomp back. Look at this. Look at this. I'm failing. It's so annoying. I can't get it back. Anyway, now we do Raal the Gluttonous. This boss fight's pretty simple. He never moves, so the tank must stay within melee range of him at all times, or else he'll start doing an AoE thing that will wipe you. So he does Rotten Explosion. You need to be moving. Be moving while he's doing that Rotten Explosion, or else you'll get a worm right on top of your face. It does a lot of damage. They just explode and leave goop on the ground. That goop will slow you for when he does his big AoE cone, which is called Tenderize. So you need to be really careful about that, because Tenderize does a lot of damage, especially on Tyrannical, and you'll get slowed down by the goop that's left on the ground. So you have to jump over it and use your speed boost to get away from it. Then he calls his servants. They're going to come from the outside of the room, and they're going to work their way in. You can see them right. There's some more oozes, of course. There's the servant over there, wasting servant. Those need to die before they reach the boss, or he will eat them, and he will get a massive buff. So you need to make sure you kill them. Use things like Ring of Peace. Use things like Touch of Death. Use your AoE stuns. Use whatever you can use to stop them from getting eaten. I think he actually eats this one. Oh, no, we stun it in time, which is great. I think he does eat one, though, at the end here. He's going to call servants again. Let's see here. I think one of these servants actually gets to the boss. We kind of fail. I think it's this guy right here. Let's watch this guy and see if he ends up getting to the boss. Yep, he's getting closer. And I think he ate him right there. I actually can't tell. I don't know if he has a buffer. No, we must have killed him. So we did it all right. We did a good job there. But yeah. Again, very, very careful. This room gets really busy eventually. The room gets very, very busy. You have to be super careful about that. As a monk, I have a lot of mobility, so I'm very, very lucky. And my shaman would have a lot of mobility too, so just one of those things. But you have to be a little bit careful. And then you're going to go down here. You're going to pull this kitchen room as we go down to the basement. Okay, so we kill this. Let me just check in really quickly one more time for you. Pause this. So again, we have now cleared the entire Gluttonous room. This is the kitchen room here. Then you work your way downstairs. We are now down in this section here. Okay? Just to keep you all up to speed there. Keep showing you that MDT. So we have these infected thorn. Once again, that's a poison. Make sure you deal with it. Yada, yada. They're dead. Then you're going to pull the next mini boss, the Matron. One of the hardest pulls. One of the more heavy-hitting pulls. Matron Alma. Again, on Fortified Week. She hits like a bus. Okay, but she just does Decaying Touch. It's not that bad. It's whatever. She's actually a pretty easy fight. She just kind of hits hard. Mostly the tank has to be paying attention. You kill that. Then we have enough percent. We actually have more than enough. We have 93%. So with Joe's route there, pulling all the extra pigs in that hallway, we got most of our percentage from that, okay? Now, this pull down here, this is the most difficult pull in the entire dungeon on Fortified Week. This is the basement pull before the second last boss. These guys are so nasty. Basically, the problem here is that there's multiple casts going off at the same time. You need AoE stuns, AoE interrupts. The Soul Volley is a big one. I think it ends up going off here. Look at the damage that did. And then they put candles, warding candles. You can see right there. They get put on the ground. They've got a big black X through them. You must move the mobs off of the warding candles, or else they will basically go invincible. Okay, you have to move them off of this. Okay, so you can see they're all glowing, like a bluish kind of glow there. You need to move them away from that, and then that's the indication that they're off the candles. If you don't do that, you'll never kill these mobs, okay? Very dangerous pull. On Fortified Weeks, it's a good lust pull, actually, to do. Legitimately, you should probably lust this pull and kill all these guys. They also drop Sanguine, which is super annoying. We forgot to pull one of the Heartsbanes, which is a little bit annoying, so we'll kill it after. Now, boss fight. The Lord and Lady Waycrest fight. Let's get to that. Lord Waycrest comes over first. Lady Waycrest stays over at the piano. You basically reduce Lord Waycrest's health to 0, and then Lady Waycrest will sacrifice some of her health to heal him, and then you keep hitting him again, over and over again, until she has lost enough health that she comes over and joins the fight, okay? So she plays her piano and throws down some, like, stuff you have to dodge. He does Wasting Away, which is something you can take out. And again, if you have a Poison Dispeller, you can get rid of it all on your own. So I run out, I dispel myself, and I get out. If you dispel yourself near somebody else, it will jump to another party member. So you have to be really careful. Make sure you're far away from everybody else before you dispel. But again, having Poison Dispellers in this dungeon is extremely, extremely helpful. Okay, it's really, really good. Again, this is rinse and repeat. So he keeps getting health, and now finally Lady Waycrest joins because we've dropped her health enough. She is permanently in execute range, just so you know. So if you have warriors that can press execute, if you have Touch of Death like I do, you can get those execute things off. If you have a Shadow Priest with Shadow Word Death, you can get free. There we go. I finally did the Wasting Away. You can get free like resets on Touch of Death. So any execute classes are really, really good on this boss fight. You want to DPS Lady Waycrest down. Just leave Lord Waycrest, basically, because Lady Waycrest, even though it looks like she has less health, she actually has way more health than he does, okay? So you DPS them down. It's a very simple fight. We're on to the final pull. Here's the last pull of the dungeon. These are some horrors. They jump at people, and they do a buttload of damage when they jump. Things like Ring of Peace are really good. A Druid Vortex is really, really, really good. Anything that can keep these mobs from jumping at your allies is very helpful, okay? Also, once they die, they're going to drop Sanguine, so you want to kind of backpedal your way down this hallway. It's very frustrating. I end up Ring of Piecing them to try and get them down the hill here, I think. Yeah, I already did it. You can't see it now, but I did end up doing it here. There's my Ring of Peace to bump the last one. You really want to avoid Sanguine healing as much as humanly possible, and then you're on to the final boss. This is Gorak Tul. This guy, he basically will spawn allies. He's going to spawn little ads. Those ads need to be stunned when they're spawned. Otherwise, they will stun one of your allies. Okay? And then there's a potion that gets thrown onto the floor. I hope I can see it here. Oh, there it is right there. It's in the bottom corner of my screen. See that glowing thing right down there? That is a little potion that a ranged player can pick up and throw at the corpse of an ad. You have to kill the ad, then burn the corpse with this potion. That's what you're doing. So you're going to see Rich is going to step into this potion in a second. He's going to pick it up, and now the enemy has died. The ad has died, and he burns that corpse. If you don't burn the corpses, he will keep resurrecting them with Dread Essence. Every time Gorak Tul casts Dread Essence, he will resurrect. He will spawn a new ad, and he will resurrect any existing ads. So you have to be very, very careful. It can get out of control really quickly. And then he casts Dark and Lightning, and that's all. You're basically just managing ads on this fight. That's the whole fight. Managing them, killing them with the potion. That's what you have to end up doing. Very, very important, okay? That's that entire fight. It's actually very simple. It'll be quite easy, I think, on Tyrannical Week. He does a lot of damage with Dread Essence, but otherwise he ends up... it's not a very difficult fight at all. And boom, Gorak Tul defeated. We got a plus 18 timed. That was an awesome key that we did right there. So I did 128k overall. Bella was pumping on 158k overall. That's some Windwalker numbers if you guys are curious about Windwalker stuff. It's actually doing perfectly fine right now. It's not, it's not the best class in the game by any means, but it's doing okay. So that's that entire dungeon, guys. I just wanted to recap that for you and give you a really... Tried to do it quickly. I know this video was kind of long, but I tried to do it as quickly as I could to show you guys step by step how you can tackle this dungeon. If you have any questions for me, put them down in the comments down below. I would love to hear from all of you down there. If you're interested in what this is Mythic Dungeon Tools. You can create your own routes if you want to. And I'm going to actually work on a new route for this dungeon because the one that we have right now is very, very frustrating because of these stupid Heartsbane Rune Weavers. I hate these mobs. So I'm going to try and avoid them as much as I possibly can, but it might not even be possible. We'll have to see. But that's the dungeon. Thank you guys so much again for watching. If you want to see more dungeon guides like this, I can do more of them for you guys. I would just love to hear in the comments down below. Let me know if you want me to do more of these on some of the more difficult dungeons in this patch. I'm going to try and do probably one for each of them, but these take quite a bit of time to sort of figure out. So let me know what you think in those comments down below. We'd love to hear from all of you. That's it for me. Thank you so much. I love you all. I will see you in the next one.